Hi, I'm Amanda from Washington State. It all began when my parents got divorced. They made good money, and we lived in a beautiful house, but there was never much love between us. I got along with my dad well enough, but my mom treated me like I was a stranger. But in the end, it was Dad who betrayed me.
I'm leaving you for another woman. Don't you dare!
It turned out Dad had been having an affair for a long time, and he was planning to remarry after the divorce. The worst part was that this new woman had kids too, and Dad accepted them like they were his own.
This is all your fault. Our family started falling apart after you were born.
That day, I left the house, got on a bus, and rode it all the way to the last stop. Welcome to my safe space. I'd always felt at peace in the woods, and I often took photos of nature, but back then, not even that could make me feel better. When Dad came to collect his stuff, Mom made a huge scene. I locked myself in my room so I wouldn't have to hear it. I ate away my stress with sugar. Cakes and pastries became my best friends. Speaking of friends, when I started skipping school, my best friend May called me. Where have you been? I opened up to her about the problems in my family, and she was really supportive. But after a while, I started to notice that we barely talked anymore. It felt like May was avoiding me, so I just stopped trying to force it. I kept skipping classes every day. I forged medical notes in Photoshop, and I sent them to the school so they would think I was sick. That went on for a whole month, until one day, the principal showed up at our house.
We're all concerned about you. So many health problems all at once. What health problems?
That was how Mom found out I'd been skipping school. She completely lost it, and the next day, I had no choice but to go back. I was about to put on my favorite jeans when I realized something was wrong. They won't fit! I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror, and I realized for the first time just how much weight I'd put on. All of that sugar had also completely ruined my skin. I ended up having to wear a shapeless, oversized hoodie. When I got to school, I saw May. She was chatting with Sophia, the undisputed queen bee of the school. Well, that explains why she's been giving me the cold shoulder. Oh, you poor thing. You look absolutely terrible. In class, I slunked to the very back row. At lunch, I sat at a table by myself while May was hanging out with her new crowd. With only a week left until summer break, Sophia decided to throw a massive house party. You're invited too. I'm not so sure that's a good idea. Come on, you need to get out and have some fun. In the end, they talked me into it. But the moment I agreed, I found out one very unpleasant detail. It's a pool party, by the way. I tried on every swimsuit I owned, but I looked hideous in all of them. I gave up on the idea of swimming and threw on my usual baggy clothes. At the party, everyone was whispering and giggling behind my back. Even May. By the way, I'm seeing this really amazing guy. He's older and he lives in the city. Look at the necklace he got me. Wow, it's so pretty. After showing off her gift, Sophia took it inside and went back to her guests. Woohoo! While everyone else was having the time of their lives, I just sat there feeling miserable and out of place. Amanda, could you grab some drinks from the kitchen? You're the only one who's still dry. I went and I got the drinks, and then I spent the next hour just sitting on the terrace. Eventually, I'd had enough and I wanted to leave, but then something happened. My necklace is gone! I know for a fact I put it right back where it was.
That means someone stole it.
Amanda was the only one who went into the house. What? I didn't touch it! Look, we all know you're going through a hard time, but why take her stuff? I told you I didn't take it!
Why don't we check her pockets?
Why don't you check the pool? Look, all your water's draining out. While they were distracted, I made a run for it. I was shaking with rage and humiliation. Running away only made me look guilty, but I couldn't stand staying there another second. Though the worst part of the day was waiting for me at home.
Don't you dare think I'm letting you keep the car. You're gonna walk away from this divorce with nothing.
And then she decided to take her anger out on me.
You're just as pathetic as your father.
You don't give a damn about me. I could vanish tomorrow and you wouldn't even notice.
You're a big girl now. Go ahead and do whatever you want.
I cried in my room all evening, feeling like nobody cared about me and I was completely alone. When did everything start going wrong? Soon, Sophia called me. A moment later, messages from May started coming in too, but I didn't read them. I just turned off my phone and I shoved it in the nightstand nightstand drawer. Enough feeling sorry for myself. I waited until Mom fell asleep, then opened the cabinets where she kept the documents. A few minutes later, I found what I was looking for. There it is! It was my maternal grandmother's address. She was our only relative, but we hadn't been in touch in years. In fact, I'd only seen her once, when I was very little. Mom was embarrassed that Grandma was eccentric. But come on, can anyone really be worse than my mother? Grandma lived in the neighboring town, and I decided to spend the holidays with her. Just in case, I left a note saying that I was fine, and early the next morning, I left home. Only after I got to the train station did I suddenly remember that I'd left my phone in my nightstand. Maybe it's for the best. While I was waiting for the train, I noticed a beauty salon nearby, and then another idea popped into my head. What do you think? Does this color look good on me? Let me know in the comments. Grandma's town was small, but it had a charm all its own. I was excited, but when I got to the address, I started to get nervous too. What if she doesn't take me in? It's been such a long time since we last talked. Gathering my courage, I pressed the doorbell. Can I help you? The thing is, I'm your granddaughter. It was horribly awkward, but somehow I managed to explain why I came. Grandma just looked at me in silence. I was already thinking that she was about to send me away when she suddenly smiled. Of course, sweetheart. Come in. You have so many cats. I take them in from the streets. I find homes for the ones that I can, and the rest stay here with me. At that moment, I realized that even if Grandma was eccentric, at least she had a kind heart. I grew the herbs for this tea myself. It was my first time there, but somehow it felt like home. The atmosphere was warm and cozy, and talking to my grandmother came so naturally. Would it be okay if I stayed here for summer break? I'd be happy to host you. The next morning, I headed into the woods just behind the house. But this time, I decided to make the trip useful as well as enjoyable. I'm definitely gonna lose weight. I started going for a run every morning. Sometimes I would stop along the way to capture some interesting shots. One day when I came back from the forest, Grandma handed me an unusual ointment. I made it from herbs. It works really well for skin problems. To my relief, Grandma was right. After just a couple of weeks, my breakouts had gotten much better. Running and eating properly had paid off too, so I was really proud of myself. Grandma had an old phone that she let me use instead of mine. I created a new social media account, and I came across Mom's profile. Her latest photos had been taken by the ocean. She really doesn't care. At some point, I came across one of Dad's posts where he'd uploaded a photo with his new family. It still hurt to see, so I immediately logged off. One day, I went into town to buy cat food. I was just taking in the sights when I spotted a guy who was pretty cute.
I already told you, stop calling me.
Suddenly, our eyes met. He gave me this incredibly strange look. It sent a chill down my spine, so I picked up my pace. I ended up browsing for over an hour before finally picking up some cat food and heading for the exit. But when the doors opened, he was there. The same guy from earlier. Okay, relax. This guy's just doing some shopping. No big deal. I tried to keep my cool, but he was staring down at me again. Then he pulled out his phone, glancing back and forth between the screen and my face. Is this guy a psycho? Suddenly, he turned his phone towards me.
This you?
My heart dropped. It was a missing person poster on my hometown's community forum, and Sophia was the one who'd posted it. It has to be about that missing necklace. No, you've got the wrong person. The second the elevator doors slid open, I bolted for the exit. What if Sophia actually went to the police? What if they're already looking for me? But I didn't do anything wrong. When I finally made it back home, I found out that Grandma dug an old bicycle out of her storage closet. You can use this to get around. It needs some fixing though. I figured it wasn't a bad idea. So the next day, I decided to take it to that repair shop that I'd passed in town. Excuse me, could you help me with something? The mechanic didn't even acknowledge me. I just need to get a bike fixed. I ended up waiting about 15 minutes before he finally bothered to answer me. But when the mechanic crawled out from under the car, I was genuinely stunned. You again?
Name's Chris. Nice to meet you.
I can't use my real name. It was on that poster. Anna.
So, what's the deal with the bike, Anna?
After taking a look at Grandma's old bike, Chris got to work.
Come back and pick it up this evening.
Thank God he didn't mention the poster. He must have really thought it wasn't me. Before evening rolled around, I managed to snap a few shots in the woods and swing by the house. Mind if I see the pictures? Some of them aren't that great. Sweetie, you have a real talent. You should try sending these to a few magazines. Hearing praise felt weird. My parents never showed the slightest interest in my hobby. these. Still, Grandma's words gave me the push I needed. I found a few online nature magazines and took a chance by submitting my work. As I went back to pick up the bike, I heard a faint, sad meow coming from nearby. Oh, you poor little thing. How did you end up here? Don't worry, you're in good hands now.
Did you decide to take that fur ball for a ride before realizing you've got nowhere to put it on a bike?
Actually, I just found him, and I need to get him to a vet. Can I pick up the bike later?
Fine. Hop in the truck. I'll give you a lift.
Honestly, I was surprised. This tough guy didn't exactly look like the sentimental type who'd have a soft spot for kittens. He actually waited until the vets finished the checkup, then drove both of us home with the bike in the back. Quite a handsome young man. I see we have a new addition to the family. Oh, let's get him some food. A few days later, I was heading to the woods when I suddenly saw Chris at the gate. I'm starting to think you're stalking me.
I'm just stopping by to check on our little stray.
I named him Salem. After that, Chris and I started seeing each other all the time. At first, his condescending attitude drove me crazy. It was like he was always talking down to me. But one day, everything changed. That day, I was out walking in the woods with Salem. He was following me around everywhere, if you can imagine that. Then we suddenly came across Chris.
How cute. The witch and her familiar.
It turned out he loved these woods as much as I did. He even showed me his favorite spot. We started talking, and before I knew it, I was telling him everything about my family.
I get it. My mom left when I was just a kid, but my dad taught me everything he knows. And now we run the shop together.
Suddenly, Chris's phone rang. His expression changed instantly and he cut the call. Who keeps calling you? Chris hesitated for a moment, then sighed.
My ex-girlfriend. Back when we were together, she was always trying to change me. She told me fixing cars was beneath me. I finally broke up with her, but she still can't take the hint.
In that moment, I saw a completely different side of him. The more time we spent together, the more I realized I was falling for him. Eventually, I decided to take the leap and make the first move. I never would have had the courage before, but this was the new me. You know, I've been meaning to tell you something for a while. Chris didn't even let me finish. He placed a finger against my lips, then leaned in and kissed me. It was the most magical moment of my life. We started seeing each other, but one day I went to the shop to see him, and I saw Sophia. I had to hide so she wouldn't see me. Did she finally track me down? But when I asked Chris about it the next day, it turned out that Sophia was his ex.
She's still trying to get me back, but don't worry, it's over between us.
I tried to let it go, but a while later, I saw them together again. When I went to the shop, Chris's dad told me he wasn't there.
He went to the next town over with Sophia.
I hadn't felt that kind of pain since my father left. I once again felt like a complete failure. I couldn't even bring myself to go into the forest, and instead, I drifted aimlessly through the city all day. That evening, I went to my room and I started packing. I have to leave. I need a fresh start. Suddenly, Salem rubbed up against my legs. In that moment, I realized something. No, I'm done running. I realized that there was no old me or new me. The girl from the past and the girl standing here now were the same person, the same girl on her own unique path. It took me a long time to fully accept myself. Right, Salem? Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. When I opened it, a police officer was standing there, and right beside him were Sophia and Chris. It's the necklace! They found me! How could Chris do this to me? Suddenly, they stepped aside, and someone else walked up on the porch steps. Dad?
Oh God, Amanda, I finally found you.
It turned out that he was the one looking for me the whole time. Sophia had figured out that it was May who took the necklace that same day at the party.
When you stopped coming to school, I felt guilty, so I went to your house. I ran into your dad, and I found out that you disappeared. Your mom left, and nobody knew where to find you.
So that's why you put up the poster? But I left a note for Mom telling her I was okay. Apparently, Mom never even noticed it. Or she did and just didn't care enough to tell anyone.
I had a feeling you were pretending to be someone else. So when Sophia told me your father was looking for you, I knew I had to help. You're coming home to live with me now.
No, I want to stay here with Grandma.
What grandma?
My name is Mrs. Bennett, and I think I have some explaining to do. This was the biggest surprise of them all. It turned out that my actual grandmother had passed away years ago. Mrs. Bennett was the woman who had bought the house after her death. But why didn't you say anything? When you showed up on my doorstep, I could tell tell right away that you needed help. I've always had a sense for these things. I let you stay, and I didn't call the police. It all worked out for you, didn't it? That was hard to argue with. Eventually, my dad and I sat down and had a heart-to-heart. I even met his new family. I decided not to move in with them, so Dad rented a small cottage just for me down the road from Mrs. Bennett. She treats me like her own granddaughter, and I visit her all the time. As for Chris, Sophia finally got the message and left him alone. We're officially back together. By the way, a major online magazine published my photos. I think I've genuinely found my true calling. What about you? Have you learned to accept yourself for who you really are?